Answer should be 21 1/3. The answer on this one should be 117 4/5. Pick a number from 1 to 20. Flashcards. Simply say the answer out loud. Have to reduce the 3/33 to 1/11. Homework check. For number 1, final answer is down here in the corner. Should have 18/35, negative 19/35, 2/5, and then negative 13/5, over 35, negative 4/35, 2/5, and then negative 2/5, 1/5, and negative 1/5. We'll go back and look at the work later if we need to. Number 2. Down here at the bottom we have 2/5, negative 2/5, 3/5, 4, negative 21/5, 6, and negative 17/15, 6/5, and negative 26/15. Number 3. Negative 7/102, 34, 6/51, 1/51, 13/51, 5/51, 9/51, negative 24/51. Negative 24/51 can be reduced to negative 8/17. A negative 8/17. This one is negative 8/17. 3 goes into both of those. And then negative 2/51 for the bottom one. Number 4. 49/6, 2/3, 31/6, 16/3, 1/3, negative 10/3, negative half, 0, and 1/2. The objectives for today. To find the inverse of a 3x3 matrix, we'll go over this again. And example number 1. Here is the general setup of the formula. I have ovals in there where there should be letters and signs and things like that. So just in general, can you tell from the formula what should go in the spot that is being pointed to by the arrow? What is it that goes in that spot? AI minus CG, yes. And what goes here? What goes here?
Negative B times DI minus FG. That should be negative. Just negative. Yeah. DI minus FH. BF minus CE. CD minus AF. A times EI minus FH. CH minus BI. FG minus DI. minus AH.
All right, example number 2. Here is an example with numbers in it that we have to work out. We'll go through this step by step. 326, -148, 517. First, you have to find the fraction, the first half of the formula. That's what we'll do first. Before you do anything, label them off A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, H, I. It'll make it much easier when you go back to plug in the numbers from the matrix. The first thing you're going to have to do is EI and then FH. Of course, you're multiplying all of that by A, which is 3. So you end up with 3 times the quantity, a -28 minus 8. Of course, it's EI first. That's 4 times -7, and then minus 8 times 1. When you move on to the next step, in the red, you have to use the 2, which is B. So it's -2. The minus comes from the formula. And in the parentheses, you're going to have the DI and the FG in there. That will give you a 7 minus 40. And then in the green, plus is in there by rule from the formula. 6 is C, and you're multiplying that by the quantity of -1 minus 20. Of course, that comes from -1 times 1, that's the DH, and then E times G, that's 4 times 5. Now simplify the bottom half. Just simplify the items inside the quantities. -28 minus 8 is -36. 7 minus 40 is -33. And -1 minus 20 is -21. From there, you're going to have to go back and simplify again. Now simplify even further. 3 times -36 is -108. And then -2 times -33 is 66. And 6 times a -21 is -126. Of course, you have to simplify it all the way down to just one number for the denominator. And you should come up with -1/168. -108 plus 66, and then -126. -1/168 is the fraction. So save that, and we're going to come back to it after we get finished with the matrix. Next, find the matrix portion of the formula. Here is the original problem again, and it's already labeled out. You should have that as well. The first step, you'll get a -36 by doing EI minus FH. That is 4 times a -7, and then minus 8. -28 minus 8 should give you a -36. You'll see a pattern as these things cross and their placement as you go through these slides. And then you should end up with a 20 in row 1, column 2 from doing CH minus BI. That would give you 6 times 1 minus 2 times a -7. That's 6 plus 14 when you simplify it. That's where we get the 20 from. In row 1, column 3, you should have a -8, and that comes from BF minus CE. Of course, the BF is 2 times 8, and then you're going to subtract CE, which is 6 times 4. 16 minus 24 gives you a -8. In row 2, column 1, that's FG minus DI. That should be 5 times 8, and then minus a -1 times -7. That'll simplify to a 40 minus 7, which is 33. -51 in row 2, column 2, that comes from AI minus CG. You should have 3 times -7, and then minus 6 times 5. 3 times a -7 is -21, and then subtract 30. Negative 51. Row 2, column 3, it should be CD minus AF. That's going to give you 6 times a negative 1, and then subtract 3 times 8. Negative 6 minus 24 is a negative 30. Row 3, column 1, that is DH minus EG. So you should have negative 1 times 1, and then subtract 4 times 5. Negative 1 minus 20 is negative 21. And 7 for row 3, column 2. That's BG minus AH. That'll give you a 2 times 5. And then minus 3 times 1. Should have 10 minus 3. And the last cell comes from AE minus BD. So that's 3 times 4 minus 2 times a negative 1. Should give you 12 plus 2. That's where we get the 14. Next, multiply the fraction by the matrix. So we had negative 1 over 168, and we have to multiply it by the matrix we just found. So we'll do these in red off to the right. Negative 36 over negative 168 is 3 over 14. Notice I put the negative sign on the 168 at the bottom. It was a negative 168, and the 36 was already negative. So to illustrate there's 2 different negative signs, I put one on the top, one on the bottom. 3 over 14. The 20 over negative 168 comes out to be negative 5 over 42. And for the third cell in the first row, you should have 1 over 21. Row 2, column 3 should be 5 over 28. And row 3, column 1 is 1 over 8. Bring up the next one. 1 over 24. And the last one, negative 1 over 12. The final answer should look like this.